Hi there, this is Latanya D. Walker, author, speaker, entrepreneur, and life coach to women in ministry and in the marketplace. Today I wanted to share with you 5 things that once I mastered them, I was able to start living a life that was authentic and on purpose. But before I share the 5 things I found in living authentic, let's take a look at its meaning. So when I looked up the definition of authenticity or authentic, it came up with undisputed, something of an undisputed origin. It was genuine, it was original, real, and of course bona fide. Now, when you look at that definition, it seems pretty simple. Yet for me, it wasn't always that easy. From the fake cheerleader smiles and the artificial laughs, to try and fit into places that I knew I didn't belong, authenticity was not a part of my genetic makeup. That was until I mastered these 5 simple things. So what does it take, and how can you live daily in authenticity? So here's my 5. Number 1, it's real simple, and it's love God. Now, if you thought I would say anything differently, shame on you. I will tell you, though, it was not very easy for me. It was not, there was a time for me really when I didn't love God. Sure, I was a Christian. I knew God, and I even professed to have loved Him. But it wasn't until I really developed an intimate relationship with Him that I would truly come to love Him. And for me now, it sounds simple, and for some of you who are in this place, it sounds simple to you. But for some, it's really not so simple. We have either cooked up some idea that He is our personal ATM, or that He is a jack-in-the-box that we can turn a couple of times and He'll pop out and there's this prize that we get. And then when He don't deliver, we're mad and we walk away from what we just said we loved. Loving God requires intimacy. Taking time to understand Him and intentionally learning what is on His heart allowed me to fall in love with who He really was. And so it was there in that place of intimacy that I fell in love with Him and soon learned how to fall in love with myself again. So again, loving God and learning to love God is my first key fact in living this life of authenticity. Number 2, I would have to say, is learning to live beyond the opinions of others. There was a time that the opinions of others really mattered to me. It dictated how I lived, who I loved, and sometimes where I went, which stunted my personal growth and professional growth tremendously. In learning to love me and living a life of authenticity, I had to learn how to live beyond the opinions of others. Who cares what they say? If you're happy, your happiness is resting on you being true to you. Despite how they feel, what they think or say, make up your mind today that the opinions of others are just that, opinions, and they should have no effect on how you move, think, or feel. Get this, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, so get over them and start loving you. Number 3, embrace what you hate. This is the part that was most difficult for me. I hated some things about me, and because I hated them, I never embraced them, and I never learned to allow them to shine forth. And so I would say, find the least thing about you that make it the best thing about you. What do I mean? For years, I grew up hating what many people found to be cute about me. I write this in my book, Confidential Conversations, 21-Day Devotional. And in it, I spoke about whether it was my hazel eyes or my kinky hair or my full lips. I absolutely despise those things. But in learning to love me, I challenged myself to find the least thing I thought was unattractive about me, and I began to highlight it and made it pretty. So look at what you find at least about you that's attractive. Find, I always would say, look at your eyebrows. Whatever that thing is, look at that thing, highlight that thing, and learn to love that thing without fail. Number 4, learn the power of no. No is a complete sentence. Those 2-letter words can either enslave you or set you free. And it wasn't until I was in my mid-30s that I mastered no. Until then, I was at everyone's beck and call. I was their beck and call girl, often doing something I never planned on or going somewhere I had absolutely no interest in being. Fast forward about 20 years, I am a no pro. Saying no to anything that pushes me away from my peace and my purpose is what I do. Trust me, though, it wasn't easy. It was something that, because of fear of being called mean, abrasive, or one who had a lack of compassion, I shied away from. But when I got to the point where I didn't care what you said about me, learning to say no was the next best thing for me. And so now I'm well on my way of living in this place of authenticity and being in a life that's clearly on purpose. Last but not least, and my favorite one of them all, is create your own happiness. Nobody is in control of your happiness but you. It's not the car you drive. It's not the husband or the boyfriend. It's not your children. It's not your job or your title. You are responsible for your own happiness, whatever happiness is and however it looks to you. When you learn to create your own happiness, knowing that yours will not resemble mine or that of another's, you've got it made in the shade. So here's what happiness looks like to me. I'm at home in almost complete silence with no TV, light music on, listening to the sounds of outdoors. I'm either periodically taking long but periodic talks with my besties, trying to catch up, laughing with them, or either fussing at them because they've not answered me in about a month or two. Taking honey breaks, and honey breaks, I'm a grandmother of two fabulous boys, 5 and 10 years old, and so taking honey breaks with them so that they can capture some of my attention. They keep me young and vibrant. And then me mastering how to read 2 books simultaneously over a great cup of Folgers instant coffee, dashed in there with a pinch or so of hazelnut creamer. Yeah, don't talk about my Folgers coffee, but that's what I am. And then when time permits, really relaxing by a beach or playing around a golf with my friends. So for many people, that sounds boring, right? And it possibly is. But remember, it's not about them. It's about you. It's about what makes you happy. And so find out what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy, and everything else will fall in place. Again, I'm LaTanya Walker. I thank you for joining me today, for listening. If you found this video interesting, feel free to share it with somebody you know and love and know that they need it. To find out more about me, you can visit my website at latanyadwalker.org. And remember this, there are absolutely no O's in my name. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.